I got a knock one day at the door. So I got up and walked over and opened up this door. And there standing was a cop. Now, I can count on one hand the number of times cops ever came to my door, and I'd have fingers left over in my 45 years that my wife and I have lived here. Cop standing there, and so I didn't even give him a chance to speak other than to simply say, "Come on in!" And I turned around and I walked away. I walked over and I sat down in my chair as he walked in. And he scanned the room, no more than 2 seconds. But that's all the time I needed to reach over and turn on my tape recorder that I have on my sofa. And he looked at me and he said, "I have been here 3 times, knocked on your door, and you wouldn't answer the door." I realized that I was about to play a game of poker. I said I was about to play a game of poker. Okay. I laid down my first card and I said, "You understand this house is 24 feet by 24 feet. So the furthest I can be from that door is 24 feet away. I could hear anybody knocking on that door." I said, "Add fuel to the fire. I've got a little dog with a big mouth. Nobody knocks on that door unless that dog barks." And my wife and I, at the time, had lived there almost 40 years. And I said, "You know, in all that time, not once did somebody knock on the door and we didn't get up and go see who it was. Not once." He realized that I'd laid a pretty good card down. So he covered his first lie with another card. He said, "Well, maybe you weren't here." I laid down my next card then. I said, "This is a dead-end street. At the end of the dead-end street facing the street is a 14 by 70 trailer with a big picture window in the living room. And a handicapped woman lives there. And she sits at that window watching television. But any movement out here on this street, she sees it. In fact, when we come home in our car, we don't even get out of our doors before here she comes and says, 'Somebody was here to visit you today, and here's the license plate number.'" Yeah. And right across the street, I have an elderly couple, retired, and then next to them is a guy that's physically injured forever type thing, and he's almost always there. And any commotion out here at all, and they have their noses pressed against the window. And just as I would tell them if I saw something, they would tell me. So you're telling me you came here 3 times and not one of those 3 people said anything? Really? He realized that he shot himself in the foot already. So he laid down another card, changing the subject, saying, "Well, we're looking for this guy." And I said, "I don't know names because I had a heat stroke in '01, and names are real hard to retain for me anymore. At the same time, you give me a picture and I'll tell you whether I know him or not, but otherwise, you're wasting your time." He realized that he had lost his card game with me, and he folded and walked out the door. As he went and got in his car, I did go to the door and take a picture of his car, and my camera has date and time on it. But you see, because he folded, I had another card to play, and you never show your card. You never show your card if the other guy's already folded. But my card, I'll tell you, I already have game cameras, motion sensor game cameras, looking at the front because we get Amazon picture or packages, and it will tell whoever would try to steal those. At the same time, I got one pointed in the backyard, and I have one pointed over by my candy truck. I have 3 game cameras. Yeah, and he wasn't on them. And he wasn't on them. If you're confronted by a cop, I preach it to the kids. I preach that never lie to a cop, and never call a cop a liar. But understand, you're playing a game of poker when he walks up to you. And he very easily can take an awful lot of money from you, or maybe even your freedom. So you hold those cards close to your vest. Thank you for your time.